Hand clap to the massive guys. We are finally back again for another one on the one and only Mystelics reaction, guys. Big up all the Mystelics YouTube family. You've definitely tuned into another reaction video, and of course the newcomers out there, big up all yourself as well for definitely tuning into this year reaction video. If you've not done so, guys, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notification, guys. Click subscribe, click the bell, and then click all, so you'll be pretty much notified when I drop all my videos right there and then, so you don't miss a bit, guys. I actually have to do another video with the whole Lennox reaction to the whole situation that is taking place, and you know what they're doing and what have you. But information keep just flooding me like crazy, man. I'm even doing 2 videos right there, 2 reactions today, guys. So definitely tune into the next one. That'll of course be in the first comment in the comment box below as well. But yeah, guys. And I think yesterday I did the vlog. Nah, I wouldn't post the vlog. You guys can always check out Mystelics vlogs. If you're on the app, definitely download the app. That'll be in, of course, at the end of the video, for which you can definitely download. Just click it on your screen, wherever it is, whether you're watching it on your TV or your phone or whatever, you guys. Click this stuff and you will definitely be able to get that vibrations right there, and you know the latest vibrations that tend to take place. Of course, this is another situation that took place in the DLP party, and I want you guys to see it for yourself. Seeing is actually believing, guys. Seeing is believing, they say. Sometimes you have to have faith like a mustard seed, but no need for faith when you're actually seeing this thing right there. This lady is telling her oppressor to come back. Now, guys, I was thinking to myself, what exactly would drive people to be in that kind of situation where they are wanting their own oppressors to come back? Now, on the basis of actually receiving stuff, I'm sure that she's probably received some stuff where she can say, okay, I was better off back then and now. But on the basis of receiving stuff versus things working for you is totally 2 different things. So I'm thinking to myself, she's crying and saying, "Scary, come back." And I'm thinking, why would she act in that way? It doesn't make any sense to me, unless she got something that she didn't normally get back in the day or couldn't get for herself, and then I would understand this. But it's one thing when you're thinking of your own personal self versus what the economy can produce for you. It's a totally different thing, guys. And you see now in a state of bewilderment, so to speak. She's it's insane, guys. I don't know, it's insane, man. But of course, I'm sure that she probably received something, like I said before. I'm sure that she received something, and in that hindsight of she receiving this thing, she's like, she feels like that is the best option for her. And she feel like that person was the one, that person, whoever, the prime minister she's calling scared, maybe have helped her out. But she doesn't realize that it's the people's money that's probably, well, not probably, it is definitely the people's money that is helping her out. It is definitely the people's money. You're crying for the very person who's used your money, and then he gives you a little something. Let's say he gives her a house or something. He gives her a house, and she's happy to get that house, and doesn't realize that the very prime minister is using the very resources that can actually do much more than just giving a house or providing her the utilities or the opportunities for her to progress, or for her family members to progress. She's not seeing that. She's only seeing what she has gotten. Whereas on the prime minister's them side, they are building mansions, they're traveling for free, they are doing all on the backs of the people. All on the backs of the people. And there she is crying. I don't know, it's an interesting tale how the human psyche works, so human cognition works. What triggers them to I don't know. It's an interesting thing. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts on the whole situation right there? Anyways, moving along right there, you probably saw this. So I remember Shakira. Yeah, Shakira is one of the individuals who came out and spoke and said, nobody replacing me and what have you. She was there for 3 years. She's supposed to be there for 2 years additional, and so forth and so forth. It's a 5-year reign and whatnot. She said nobody come and replace her. If the people come and replace her, they need to do something with that new person she's actually calling. And then as a result of that, she maintained her seat. And I then went for a reference and said, well, if they were trying to kick you out before, what does that say about the people thinking about you? what does the leaders that you are teaming up with think about you? Because they were planning to replace you. Anyways, this apparently is Addis King. I'm not sure 100%, but this was sent to me stating that this was Alice King of St. Joseph, who she was replaced by, I think, Alex Bruno's son, which is a whole other talala in itself right there. But of course, Alice King must most likely have stated on her Facebook page or something like that, since they hid their net for me without cause, and without cause dug a pit for me, may ruin overtake them by surprise. She's saying, may ruin take them by surprise. May the net they hid entangle them. May they fall into the pit to their very ruin. Right there, Psalms 35, 7-8. But Alice King, at the end of the day, if that was really you who stated this thing right there, well, based off you sharing this thing, if that was really you who shared this, what were you doing for the people of St. Joe? Who is coming to ruin? Isn't it you? I understand your sentiment of you feeling betrayed by the team. But if that is the actual case, I mean, aren't you the one coming to ruin? What have you done for the people of St. Joe though? I mean, we always tend to look out at what people are doing us, but not what we are doing to people. Have you elevated St. Joe to any magnitude or any stance? Have you done anything to uplift the people? I'm a classic liberal from the understanding I haven't seen St. Joe people elevating. So who is really coming to ruin? Seems like you are the one who's coming to ruin, and once or some other people who have most likely betrayed you, you want them to come to ruin. But you join, what if you go and play with the devil? What do you expect to happen now? You join the devil, you play with the devil, you think the devil is going to be your friend? Really? Well, sorry to hear that, but it is what it is. Moving along right there, guys. So I've seen something rather interesting. So while one is complaining about not moving, there's another person who apparently seems to be running, or is alleged to be running right there. APP has been wired money. What is this money for? People are asking. Why is money wired to the Blanchard personal account? Interesting. The money is coming from Antigua CIBC to Dominican Republic Bank, the Dominican Republic Bank. And if that is the case, this is alleged, guys. If that is the case, I saw a video of her talking, and I realized that she was most likely going to be running. She wants to be part of the opposition, the independent individuals out there who plan to run. I'm guessing. Is she part of APP? I don't know the whole confusion between her and Alex. I don't know what's going on. But it seems like she's going to be running, and she apparently is alleged to have been paid money to run. With all the things that she was saying that seems to be user-friendly. More to the democracy of what is taking place. Apparently she has seemed to be being paid to run. The big question is, who is paying them to run? And I'm suspecting that there's a number of persons who are also being paid to run as opposition. That wouldn't be too far-fetched, you know, guys. Especially if the Prime Minister them wants to have at least some sort of thing. They know they're going to be winning. Let us pay some certain individuals to run against us so it looks like it's a legitimate thing. If there's no opposition and you're running, then that means everybody seems to have a problem. So why not pay certain people to go and run? Be nominated and what have you. Wouldn't that make sense? What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. But it's rather interesting that she came out talking, and it's alleged to have been paid money to run. And this is not the only one I'm seeing there. I'm seeing this as well. APP has been wired money. What is that money for? Why is that money wired to the Blanchard personal account? That money is coming from Antigua CIB, pretty much reiterating the same thing. There's another problem as well. Charles Savre is not sound that this individual is saying, and can't answer Lennox Linton's letter. The response or lack of is coming from Skerritt and Company. It's interesting. They are trying to keep it quiet. Dementia? Seems like he may have certain problems. I remember somebody told me that a while ago, stating that last thing, the second term for presidency, Charles wasn't going to run because he was sick. He had some problems. And all of a sudden, who knows what happened? He decided to run again. But then Charles Savre, over the years, what have you been seeing Charles Savre doing? Charles Savre hasn't been out much. Charles Savre made statements sometimes. I don't know if it's edited or put together, and he had to make statements bit by bit, and they edit it and put it together to make it seem as if he's okay. But a number of persons are asking the question, what is going on with Charles Savre? Is he suffering from dementia or something? What is really going on? And based off that very same thing, I have the letter right there. This is the letter that Charles Savary should have written. But apparently it's not him that write it. His secretary did. Donnell Blackmore. She's the one who wrote the letter. Dear Honorable Linton, I have been directed by His Excellency President to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated November 9th, 2022, addressed to His Excellency Charles Savary, President of Dominica. On the caption, read the calling of snap election with a tainted electoral process. Of course, the CCJ stated this very thing right there. They saw it themselves and stated that no election should happen until electoral reform has taken place. This is why the opposition them is not running, because on the date that Lennox received the letter from Dennis Byron was the date that they call election, which is interesting, especially during that same time when the East was going under some serious catastrophe and still is today. Yesterday they had the blockage. I don't know if they cleared it yet again, but they still had all kind of things. 1 mile and above, even in the West, had issues. 1 mile was flooded yesterday too, you know. There's a number of places where things were happening. But we want money for things, Papa. Money for, yes, I. So, like I read there, electoral process was tainted. And to point out that, as with similar letter, you fail to refer to any specific provision of the Constitution or any law under which the President could lawfully act as you proposed. If you read the last line, it's clearly not the President that is writing this, it's the Secretary. Yours sincerely, this person right there, President Secretary. So she is writing on behalf of the President. Why didn't the President write and then sign it for himself? They didn't address it to Donnell Blackmore. No, Donnell, whatever that is. They didn't address it to you. Why are you writing in regard to the President? Lennox didn't address this to this President's Secretary. It should be President there and his signature there and his name there. Why is the President writing unless there's some sort of situation happening with Charles Savary? Maybe Charles Savary is not of sound mind. And this person, the person that told me about the last election, Charles Savary had some issues or whatnot. He was sick or whatever, and he probably had some issues in his head. She didn't see me put this out. No, I'm putting this out. So it just coincides. It's interesting, ain't it? What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? And as I'm thinking of this letter right there, I'm seeing this. I want people to understand something very unique right there. Let's take a listen to what this girl is saying. Okay, so apparently when you come to conventions, you want to see the policies of what, you know, different politicians have to say on the stage. Apparently that is not the case right there. This girl is talking about, scared, put your hand in your pocket and cool us out. This is what she's saying. Give us cool out. We come here for cool out. Apparently those that didn't get their cool out. Scared, put your hand in your pocket. They're making boo, you know. Boo your music have to make. Put your hand in your pocket. And pull the cool out. Pull the cool out from your pocket. Cool us out, she's saying. Cool us out with the cool out money in your pocket. This time we're not playing. What you mean this time you're not playing? Or you dressed in labor shirt, he already win, or you in labor shirt. Or you campaigning technically, indirectly with the labor shirt on. Saying, hey, look, I support all you. I say labor still is the best choice. Interesting. Best choice for what? Cool out? I know it's not to run the country because the country going down the drain. Guys, tune into the next video. I have something very important on this regard right there, what I just stated. It's very interesting how these things has happened. Cool. Look out for the next video. I'll point certain things out to you guys as well. We want it. We want the cool out. We don't mind it now. We want it. Yes. Get it. Push it in your pocket. And pull it. I guess she passed the mic. Well, if you're not here to listen to the policies of what that can actually help you and you want scared to pull out, to cool us out, then you're already in a losing battle. You're in the losing battle, sister. Because whatever policies they run the economy with will take back the very cool out that they give you. You don't realize that? You're in an economy that not doing well. Prices going, skyrocketing, gas prices and those kind of things there. Food prices, everything, bus fare go up, all this kind of something except your salary. So they give you a cool out. Where do you think the money can go? In your bank? You have to use it. You forget. You have to use it. So this is why a number of persons have been sharing this thing out there. Say no to dictatorship. Say no to dictatorship. There's somebody who may said something. Look out for the next video, guys. Look out for the next video a bit later on. It'll be in the first comment in the comment box below when it drops. Look out for that video right there. Anyways, guys, moving along. There's something rather interesting that somebody stated right there. Skerrit and his one-party state will be a complete disaster. Here's why, he stated. Is this thing moving? No, I don't think it's moving. Okay. An unopposed Roosevelt Skerrit within itself is already a disaster. According to Sheba, she said Skerrit is category 6 hurricane. Anyways, an opposed Roosevelt Skerrit within itself is already a disaster for Dominica, as the no law, no constitution Prime Minister truly seems to have no limits to his greed and inherent criminal impulses, it seems. Yet, one must recall that the only use Skerrit has for any opposition is to use them as scapegoat to cover his misdeeds. I mentioned this a while ago. Seems like they might have to pay individuals come and represent opposition to make it look as if, not everybody is, you think, you don't understand. But I think if the main opposition of Dominica is not contesting, then that should say something, ain't it? But, anyways, with no opposition to point fingers at and accused of airing dirty laundry, bringing down the country, apparently that's what's scared of them always saying, even though they're speaking about them running the country, not the country itself, because the country is pretty nice. Dominica, come and relax and what have you. It is those who run the country into the ground that is a problem, creating economic instability for some while they have to come and beg. That is a huge difference right there. That is what Lennox them was pointed out. But no, they will tell the people who are a bit not everybody, but some people who are a bit slow upstairs that would believe that it's actually bringing down the country when it's actually trying to help you within the same economy that the very government is bringing down. It's interesting. Or stirring up division and violence. Skerrit will have no other choice but to turn inwards and start eating his own. They say 99 days for the thief, 1 day for the popo. 1 day, not 2 days, 1 day apparently. Remember, one party state in Dominica has no precedence. It has never occurred or even been attempted before. Therefore, it is only logical that this particular experiment will be closely observed by not only Dominicans but by the wider region as well. Yes, they are definitely watching. Trust me on that one. They are definitely watching. Then we must admit that Roosevelt Skerrit is no mere motley. No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not. Even from my understanding that they paid Mia Motley about $50,000 to have some electoral observation, and when she was giving it, it was completely ignored by the ruling team, by the lawyers of the ruling team. That's it. So they just pay $50,000 just for that, for no reason. Anyways, he is no Mia Motley. His dictatorial leadership style, coupled with his propensity for corruption, will only serve to expose him to a wider audience right there. I think it has actually happened. I think that has actually happened. When they calling for electoral reform finally coming on the table now. He calls elections before electoral reform can be completed or even start. That should say a lot. That should say a lot to the magnitude who tends to be watching. With no police to make him proceed with caution or even reconsider certain actions he may wish to take, no courts to undo certain bad decisions, and most importantly, no independent minister or senator to advise him against overreaching in certain circumstances. Roosevelt Skerrit will do and say things that will expose the nakedness of the emperor. He has. I mean, even his people come in and say about infrastructure is the number one, and you're looking at the infrastructure in Dominica, and you have to ask yourself a question. What infrastructure are they talking about? The hospital? The hospital, we have nice hospital building, true, But if you travel along the Caribbean, you will see other nice buildings too. The difference is they are better service. This is why Dominica tends to fly people out of the very nice looking building hospitals to go overseas, because they realize that there's a lack in which the quality of services offered is much desired. It is indeed inevitable. As we can all see, Scarrett is out campaigning in a one-man show. It's indeed one-man show, and he's letting everybody talk for him. And then when he comes to talk, he's just Lennox, everything. Lennox is not running the show, but they come in and run. That's interesting right there. All you can see is Scarrett is is out campaigning in a one-man show, and instead of speaking on his record of accomplishing record of accomplishments after 18 long years in office, he's instead using his platform to point out fingers and vilify a man who has resigned his leader. I just said that, the guys. This is the first time I'm reading this, by the way. This is the first time I'm reading this. And look, they're pointing the very thing out right there. Decides to completely Lennox, the opposition party, and a party that has already declared publicly that they will not be contesting the unethical and unusual and unnecessary snap election. What do you think this is? It is because Scarrett Midard, what is that? Midard? That's his middle name, Roosevelt Midard Scarrett. That's an interesting. What the heck? Interesting. Anyways, Roosevelt Midard Scarrett needs an opposition, any opposition, to validate his governance style. He needs the pretense of a democracy to shadow his dictatorial rule. Without such opposition, Scarrett governance style will be exposed for what it truly is. There will be no one to point out, no one to tell the public. I mean, obviously, if you have other people coming in there and there's no nominations and he comes into power and whatnot, he's gonna be doing whatever he wants to do. It is therefore not mine. Interesting. Or for Simeon Albert, there are these people right there, Clarence, Paul, whatever, the propagandists to vilify while singing the praise of a failed prime minister. It's interesting. I don't know. It's rather interesting when you look at people talking for the prime minister as if the economy is not the record that shows he has failed the economy. He has failed Dominica. I mean, look at agriculture. Look at all the growth sectors. And the only sector, I keep pointing this out, the only sector that is doing well is the construction sector. And the construction sector is not handled by Dominicans. It's handled by foreigners. So we have nicer buildings. Not the best in the Caribbean. Don't get it twisted. Definitely not first. Probably the top 10, I would say. Yes, definitely. If you have traveled the Caribbean and you see nice big buildings all over the place. I mean, go Trinidad. If you think I'm joking. Go Trinidad. Go Grenada. Go St. Kitts. Go a number of places. You'll see nice buildings. Even to the fact where you go St. Kitts still has some of the nice buildings where they have the authentic historical look to them. But there are some nice, really nice buildings all over the place. Anyways, let's get back to this. That, however, is not saying that they will not try, but certainly it will not have the same effect anymore. So they cannot point fingers anymore on these people. Hence, it is my humble opinion that the decision taken by the coalition of opposing parties to stay away from the particular election was the right decision. I agree with them too. I believe stay away, and sometimes let the people, sometimes even if Scarrett had to come over and he take all 21 seats, I think it is conducive that should be the case. Let the people understand that who are they really for? Are the people for them or are they for themselves? And then if there's no opposition to hold the government accountable, then the government will just do whatever they want, and that will completely expose them for who they really are. I think that is a good decision by them, because there is still no electoral reform to our free and fair elections. It doesn't make sense to join elections when you know that the odds are stacked against you because of being unfair. Even in the face of finally having some sort of, light at the end of the tunnel where free and fair elections would have come into play starting this month. The first phase will end be sent into parliament in December, and then the second phase would have gone into parliament in March, April 2023. The light at the end of the tunnel finally made its way, and then boom, back to square one when it comes down to these things. Because the Scarrett knows that his re-election will be tainted. He knows this. If there's any sort of fair elections, free and fair elections, that will be tainted. He knows this. This is why he calls it exactly on the day that the opposition leader got the letter. The Dominica Labour Party appears to be quite ridiculous and absurd. Yes, I mean, we just saw this there. I mean,
we don't play it. We want it. We don't buy it now.
I mean, come on. You think his policies that they want to? Yeah, let's look at the policies that will help my future or my children. No, they don't know that. They don't know about that. But anyways, I've actually seen people laughing at the trucks blasting loud music through quiet communities. Yes, I've seen a few of them, and I wonder, are you guys living in the same Dominica, or maybe they pay you, they finally give you some money for you to do something, so you take the money and decide to do it. You do your job, but you're doing your job to keep your oppressors in power, to keep oppressing you, just for a few measly dollars. That's interesting, eh? Few measly dollars people will sell at their own selves, man. That's crazy. Anyways, so people have been laughing. These people passing the truck blasting loud music through quiet communities, and the caravans of desperate looking laborites dressed in the full red uniforms looking embarrassed by the abject poverty. I tell you, they're looking like people that have the abject poverty that is very present. They're looking like people that have things to do. But hey, they dressed in their full red uniforms looking embarrassed by the abject poverty that compels them to be part of that nonsensical endeavor. This clearly is a disaster. It started off terribly and in all likelihood will end even worse right there. So it's just interesting how things are going right now, guys. What are your thoughts on the whole situation right there? But for sake, I had to definitely put this out there. Should I? Nah, I'm not putting that out there. The polling stations and what have you. I was gonna post this stuff out there, but I cannot be a part of this, man. I cannot. I understand that people were sending this for me, and you know, I cannot be a part of this, man. I cannot be a part of this. So, guys, what are the things? What are your thoughts on what I just spoke about there today? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this, guys? What are your thoughts, man? You can clearly see what's going. You can clearly see. There is no if, buts, or maybe. I don't see no clearly.
We don't buy it now. We want it. Yes. Get it. Push it in your pocket. And pull it.
I know there'll be a song on this soon. Push your hand in your pocket and pull the cool out. There must be a song like this, man. Hopefully she gets some royalties, because I know she's not gonna get no type of cool out. Anyways, guys, like I said before, give this video a thumbs up if you understand it. Definitely, I would appreciate that right there. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe and turn on that post notification. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comment box below. And definitely tune in for the next reaction video right there and then. And I'll see you guys in the next reaction video of today. Boom, man.